is on the way. By the way, congratulations. Poundcake is out today, so I'm taking winner calls. Congratulations to Heather, a young woman out there in Paynesville who loves Steely Dan. She got the last pair of tickets to see the Eagles, that farewell tour.
Yeah, but Young Q's like, what, 48?
She's 47. But here's the thing. She's not staying for the Eagles.
Oh, just the opener.
She's staying for the opener. Anyway, those tickets are on sale as of this morning. She got the last pair. Eagles and Steely Dan, that is October 17th. You can go to rocketmortgagefieldhouse.com for the details. Ben Palmer's here. Hi, Ben.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
You are from Cleveland, Ohio. You are from Northeast Ohio, correct?
Yeah, around. Yeah.
You are Palmer Trolls on the interwebs, and people know you from that.
Yeah.
And you and Bill go back, from what he's told me?
Yep.
Yes?
Yeah. From the very beginning.
About like 15 years or so?
Mhm.
Is that about how long ago?
Yep.
Because I remember you started at the Funny Stop, Rip Pete. And,
right. So
and
you
then-
started there, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you moved to Atlanta, and then LA for a little bit, and then Denver. And,
Yep.
And then over the pandemic, you blew up.
Yeah. Well, we
Thank God for that pandemic.
yeah. Thank you
The
for
greatest thing.
great.
What a career builder that pandemic was. You know?
Yes, I think it was just like having time, some free time. It was like some free extra bonus time that helped a lot of people. I was one of them. Well, I mean, it was like a little situational too. I was trying to get discovered in Los Angeles, and I wanted them to see my show. And then once there was no comedy anymore, well, I was like, well, might as well just make some videos.
Right. But up until then, had you been doing like a hybrid of stand-up and video stuff, or was it just doing the acting clubs?
It was so it was like me doing my presentation, which is like it's kind of like a PowerPoint with there is some video in there.
Okay.
But it's me like walking people through like some of the online pranks. That
So
I
you
do.
had been doing that live?
Yes.
Yeah, before the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Because you've been
Okay.
doing this. I mean, like when you started, you were just doing more traditional stand-up, but you've been doing the troll thing
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah. I've been
And it's-
pretending to be companies on Facebook for like 9 years.
Let me show a
something
bit
like
of
that.
video to the live stream people here to get people hip to what's going on, and then we'll dig into it.
This is on Black Friday a few years ago. It was always crazy. Some companies were starting to make their employees come in on Thanksgiving. They started moving Black Friday up to Thanksgiving. And then other stores, they decided they were going to stay closed on Thanksgiving so their employees could have the time off. Like TJ Maxx was one of those stores that stayed closed. And I was on their Facebook page, and I saw someone wrote them like a negative message about this. Like this person, Trey, is like, boo, you should be open tomorrow. It's just another day. So I made a Facebook page that looks just like TJ Maxx and said, we'll be open for Thanksgiving, but only if your house is too. He's like, I'm reporting who made this rude TJ Maxx comment to me. We would read the report, but unfortunately we are still closed. And that made Trey angry.
Trey didn't like that, did
Trey
he?
didn't like it.
Trey did
No.
not like
So that is very funny. So I guess my first question is, how are you not constantly being sued?
That's what people always ask me,
Yes.
and they're always shocked to find out that I've never actually been sued. I've been cease and desisted.
Well,
Don't
so
get
my
me
question
wrong.
is, how is that? They figure, what's the point, or kind of walk me through that?
A
Because
lot of times I just never hear from that company. I never heard from TJ Maxx about that.
Okay.
Sometimes they leave my comment up for a while. I'm like, you know, a lot
Engagements
of
we were
times
just
they'll
talking
delete
about.
Right.
it. Other times they'll leave it up. I'm like, I think they liked that one.
They're
Well,
just gonna let it slide.
especially since I think it's becoming more of a thing for the corporate social media directors to be a little hipper.
A little
Yeah.
snarky.
Or, yeah, like Wendy's gets a lot
Yes.
of credit for that, and you'll see brands. Nothing's more awesome than brands fighting with each other.
Right.
But is it? It's going to sound really stupid, but I'm just I'm interested in the process. Is
Yeah.
it time consuming to do that? I mean, you're like, all right. I mean,
Right.
I've set up one Facebook account, and it was 100 years ago, so it's like I
Yeah.
wouldn't even remember how to do that.
Yeah, well, I've been doing it over and over again for years.
Yeah, you have it
so
down
it's
to a
just-
science now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
second nature. For me, I can, spin up a Walmart Facebook page, and
Yeah.
No
probably
time.
about a minute, and
Well, because
be
it's-
responding to people who are mad at Walmart pretty quick.
Right, but so in the beginning of it though, it was like I got to grab a logo, and then I've
Yes.
got to make it look official. It can't just be like you don't want. The joke is you want people to think it's the official thing.
Yeah, I use their actual logos.
Right.
I just take it directly from them, and then I use depending on Facebook's censor, sometimes they're like, no, you can't make a page called Walmart. Well, then I'll just be like, well, I'll make Walmart with a capital I instead of the L. And then that'll be my Walmart. But you can't tell.
It's like a vanity license plate. Yeah.
Well,
So just little loopholes that I've been trying to work around Facebook for years. They're deleting and banning me a lot, but I keep trying.
Wow.
was your one of your earlier ones with Joel Osteen, right?
Yeah,
You've been trolling him forever.
Yeah.
And is he the one you got the cease and desist from?
No, they
Oh.
never sent me a cease and desist. I pretend to be reporters for newspapers too. So I'll pretend to be an actual newspaper, and they'll be like, "We found out you're pretending to be us. Please stop." And I'll be like,
Wow.
"Okay, I will stop."
But then you just created a fake newspaper, right?
Yeah, then I made my own that sounds like a real newspaper because I lived in Fort Collins, Colorado for a couple of years outside of Denver. They have the Coloradoan,
Yeah.
but they don't have the Coloradoan Times, and that's where I come in.
You just add another word to it.
Yeah.
The
Really.
Gazette.
So then, you email somebody on the East Coast. They're like, I think the Coloradoan Times is like a legit newspaper, but why are they talking to me like this? They're kind of unprofessional,
Right.
So what I'll do is I'll get a quote from a CEO from a company I don't like or something, and I'll make up a quote from them, and then I'll send that to the company. I'm like, did you hear that?
Like, what was the Elon Musk one?
Oh yeah, so Elon Musk, I sent made up quote of him saying we can use the rocks on Mars to feed starving people, and I emailed it to SpaceX, and I was like, did Elon Musk really say this? And they're like, no, and they're like, well, the Coloradoan Times, we don't know what that is either. I was like, well, no one knew what SpaceX was either. And now, they're a multi-billion-dollar company with a mission to feed people Mars rocks.
Right.
I just keep bringing them back into my world.
Right, yeah,
They
yeah.
sent me like a screenshot. They're like, this is the official statement from Elon Musk. And it was like a paragraph of him being like, I love space and the stars. And I was like, well, the image you sent me just says we can use the rocks on Mars to feed starving people. And,
Well,
it's just like,
the thing I love about what you do is the way you punch up. Like, you're always going after scammers or just like
yeah.
Elon
corrupt
Musk.
companies.
Billionaires.
The very, very
Like,
top.
the stuff you
Number
do,
one.
calling out like multi-level marketing companies
Yes.
and like joining their big Zoom recruitments and stuff
Yeah.
like that is so amazing and so funny and real ballsy too. Because like
Thanks.
now you're just like joining, like you're like, hey, I'm this guy in the group,
Right.
and it's really fun to watch and just really clever and not like anything I've ever seen. And one thing that when I would see your stuff get passed around on like meme sites or whatever, and I always
Yeah.
try and tag you and be like,
Yeah.
hey, this is Ben Palmer, this is Palmer,
Right.
Palmer Trolls.
So give me an example of when this really bit you in the ass, or has it not risen to that level yet?
I've taken something very deep actually that I haven't released online, but I do it at my live show.
Yeah.
Because
But let me tell people where this is. This is at Dunlop's Corner Bar tonight. PalmerTrolls.com for the info. Where is that, Bill? Where's Dunlop?
It's kind of near Ohio City,
Okay.
just like on that. It's like I want to say like west.
Like 32nd,
West
31st?
32nd.
32nd,
Yeah, there
okay.
you go.
Yeah.
All right. Ben's at Dunlop's Corner Bar tonight. Go to PalmerTrolls.com for the info. So is what you're talking about now is something that people will see tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I have like a 20-minute story about a politician who thought I was somebody I was not.
Because you made him think you were someone.
I
you were
didn't try to.
Oh, you didn't?
Initially, so what happened was someone who follows me made a website that was like a parody. He was making fun of a social media app, like a right-wing social
Right.
media app.
Right.
And an actual politician signed up on the site thinking it was the actual app.
Oh, that's
Okay.
And
hilarious.
so then I called him and said, hey, I'm with this app. And then he was like, great. and then I lived a lie for like 3 months pretending to be a person from this company. And I met him in person and pranked other politicians too.
Well, because
Oh, it's so good. It's like
it was crazy.
kind of Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah,
Yes.
kind of
I
stuff.
used, I
yeah.
used Sacha Baron Cohen's contracts that he gets these people to sign. I called one of his lawyers up, and they're like, "It sounds like you got yourself in a bit of a pickle."
They just answered. They were just like,
They
yeah,
answered
sure.
the phone. Their number was on their website, and I called them, and they said hello. I was like, "Hi,
You didn't have to
I
go
have
through,
something.
Like, that's so
I have a
funny
story
to me.
for you." Yeah.
And they were probably like, "This is brilliant. I love
They
this."
sent me the contract. They were
That's
like, he always
crazy.
wins because people sue him all the time. He always wins because he has these people sign the contract.
so do you have people sign some kind of release that they don't know that? So that's
Yeah.
the process. That's the protocol
so
for
good.
this.
yeah,
So
that
you're kind of
politician-
indemnified from people going, hey,
Yeah,
you go, no, I got it right here.
yeah, like the contract covers a lot of stuff.
What do they think they're signing?
They think
Or is
they're
it just-
signing. He thought he was signing like an agreement that protects everybody. Especially, he was like, he wanted to make sure we didn't sue him.
Yeah.
You know, so he put that language in the contract too. And I'm
Gotcha.
like, trust me, we're not going to sue you.
We're not going to sue you. Yeah. That's the one thing you don't have to worry about. You should have read the other stuff a little more closely.
Yeah.
You do not have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Well, but also, you know, Bill talks about making sure to tag you in things that other people pass around, and because stuff online is so fluid and whatever.
Yeah.
Do you have people that are like, for lack of a better term, kind of like trying to pass the baton, or they use your kind of stuff as a jumping off point, or like they think they're adding to the bit and another person has gotten you into something you're not even really a part of? Has that happened at all, or no?
I don't think so, but
Okay.
I'm always open for collaboration.
A legit partnership with a, well, because, you know, that's not inconceivable too, that somebody who gets to that level where you are is brands will legit reach out to them and go, hey, we'd like to do something, you know, funny or whatever.
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
I've had a few brands.
SpawnCon, as it were.
I've done a couple brand videos for like Beats by Dre and
Yeah.
Urban Decay Cosmetics for whatever reason decided I was the one.
Right.
They looked at you and they were like, "That's our guy."
Cosmetics.
Makeup. Yep.
Yes. Look at that.
I was like, okay. They sent me like a kit, you know what I'm saying? So
Did you like do like a lip tutorial or something?
I put a little bit of it on. Yeah. Sample the product out.
You've got to. You got to know what you're talking about. Let me get away this money here. Hold tight. It's $1,000 courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie. Listen closely, and I hope you win. Good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Green. That's green. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
So Ben Palmer is at Dunlop's Corner Bar tonight. Go to palmertrolls.com for the details on the tickets. Why? So you're here from Northeast Ohio. I mean, you grew up here.
Yeah.
Why Atlanta first?
Family, you know,
Okay.
my family ended up around that area. So I wanted to be near some support while doing comedy.
So
And there was a good scene like growing there when you got
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
I remember going down there. I think it did Star Bar or something like that. Like some show on a Monday night that was bananas, like packed.
like Laughing Skull, that's down
Yeah,
there.
that's- yeah,
So those are the rooms you came up in.
Yep.
then?
Yeah, I was a regular at all those Atlanta clubs.
Family is still there.
Family?
Is
Oh,
your
my family.
Yeah, your family is.
You're like, who's that?
Which club is that? I never did that
You
one.
don't know what, you don't
I
know what
know.
reality is anymore.
It's in
yes.
Peachtree. It's a
Oh, that's
basement.
right, family.
Yeah.
People that we love.
Yes, right. Blood relatives.
Oh,
People we
human
love, but
being.
not necessarily like.
Like that we have to love.
Yeah. They're still there, and you said, I'm going to move on. And
Yeah. And so then I moved to Los Angeles. I was there 4 years, and yeah, that's when I started putting videos out on. So I did this show for years with no one would come. You know, I'd get like whoever ended up at the show, whoever wanted to see the show at that venue that day, which was just like random people.
Right.
Usually it was just me performing for like 8 people. And so
But
now,
did they love it? Like the 8 people who came
Well,
were
one person couldn't see. That was one of my. I remember that.
like he was blind
I do
or
a visual show, and yeah, a blind person came with their wife. And like at the time, I was doing stock photos. I would put that on a screen and like
Oh man,
voice,
I remember the stock
just
photo
like
stuff,
silly
Yeah.
stock photos, and I would write like a funny line for each one and voice it. And then as I was doing it, the woman's describing to the man what's happening. She's like, "It's a picture of an old couple on the screen." I'm like,
That's very helpful. That's somebody who's really committed to that show. We're going to go see this guy. And
but yeah, it used to be small amounts of people, and now people who actually follow my stuff, they come out now, and so it's been fun.
that's the nice snowball effect, too, is that if you just kind of end up with a little group of people who can at least kind of start talking about it and whatever, and then you combine that with TikTok and all the other stuff, then you kind of have more latitude to dick around, probably. I mean, so were you going, was it just kind of confined to LA? Were you going to San Francisco? Were you going to San Diego? Like, were you?
Yeah, I was doing the San Francisco Sketch Fest. I did that 3 years. I would just go wherever,
Because they give you a lot of room to breathe up there.
I guess. LA is tough to get better at because everything's so expensive and far apart.
Yeah.
So like every open mic you sign up for, you're paying $5 for the minimum, and then you're paying for parking.
Yep.
Then the next one's 30 minutes away, and there's already 70 people on the list by the time you get there. So it's not the
Right.
best for like developing as a comedian.
Right.
It's more like, I don't know, if you want to write or get a job or get discovered.
When did you,
quote unquote.
was it suggested to you, like, when did you start going on the road?
I started going on the road right away when I shouldn't have gone on the road. When I was in Atlanta, I would go to all these southern cities. I would just drive with a friend. We'd go to book myself and go to random places on the map.
Right.
It's a lot more popular in the Midwest and even down into the South where we get on the road a year in or 2 years in, where it's like you maybe have 5 or 10 minutes and you're doing a feature set of 35, you know, or whatever. But I feel like that helps sometimes, though. Like you're kind of trial by fire.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Figure it out. You got a half hour.
What was the biggest thing that like kind of got the ball rolling so that it, you know, went viral and then you like started selling tickets?
The
like,
trolls.
That was TikTok. It
Yeah.
started with TikTok the first year, and then people started following me from that. Everyone who came to my show said they came from TikTok.
Nice.
Now this year, I've got more people on YouTube and Instagram, and so now my people are all from the different apps.
How many followers do you have on TikTok now?
Some of them from LinkedIn. I do have a big following on LinkedIn.
Nice.
All the
corporate
corporations.
logos,
Yeah, they're all like
trying to cut you off at the pass.
Yeah, I have an inbox full of cease and desist I haven't responded to. Those are all my LinkedIn friends. Please stop.
Because you got 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is awesome, and like you actually get good engagement. It's like that's really good.
Yeah.
Because like I got a bunch of YouTube subscribers, and then they go, we liked one video. We don't like all your videos.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Well, you have the added element, though, of the live show. You have to do like an AV check,
Yeah.
right? There's got to be a screen, and there's got to be, you know.
And so I couldn't just go everywhere I wanted to get seen. I had to go to places that have screens, go to places that have an open mic where you can sign up for more than 3 minutes. You know,
Right,
so it
yeah.
was a little bit of a challenge getting discovered without the internet.
Yeah, because it's not like you can show up and bring a screen with you, probably.
Which
right?
I have done, yeah.
Well, I was going to ask about that, too, because we've all talked about doing gigs back in the day where you like are in the corner of a bar and there's a high top and you bring your own amp.
Or they're
And
like,
it's just the mic, and you know, but you've got the visual thing and all that. Like you can't do it without that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a booker who's like, hey, can you bring chairs? And you're like, what? Chairs.
Just rent a center?
Right. What's
With
your
an-
favorite troll you've done?
Favorite one? Shoot, I don't know. One of the most gratifying was the city of Atlanta. I pretended to be them for years.
Oh, that one's so funny.
It's good. That's the one I showed my boyfriend
With
the
the
other
parking
night.
ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you made demands.
Yeah. So yeah, I lived in Atlanta and I was broke and I owed a ton of money to the city. I moved to LA. I had to pay all these fines and I was mad. So I made a Facebook page called City of Atlanta and used like their actual city seal, and then just started making ridiculous announcements like, don't worry about the speed limit signs. You know, no one pays attention to them anyways. If you're unsure how fast to go, just feel it out. You know, just stuff like that. And then jokes about Atlanta specifically, and it kind of blew up. And then the actual city of Atlanta made a statement saying I wasn't allowed to use their city seal. And the news like aired their statement, and then the news asked me if I had a statement in response to the city of Atlanta, which I don't know. The news loved this, by the way.
ridiculous.
The news thought it was hilarious.
it's the
They're
best,
like, "You got to come back for them." I'm like, "Okay,
Right.
Absolutely, I do.
They want to cover anything that's not a murder or
exactly.
Yeah.
That's so true. The woman was like, "I just covered like a child that died." I'm like,
Yes.
Okay,
They
cool.
need a kicker story.
I made a Facebook page.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they let me air my demands. I told the city I would remove the page, but I needed my parking and traffic tickets covered.
Right.
And I asked for $60 in cash and 2 free rides on the trolley as well.
Right. A
they
dead drop
abide?
downtown.
Did they give you those things?
No, I still have to follow up with them, you know, send an invoice. They didn't delete the page, though, and I was the city of Atlanta for several years.
That's
And
so
you still
funny.
kept up with it every now and then, just post from it?
Yeah, I was in LA making city of Atlanta posts. So I was doing my Atlanta
Yeah, because I
research.
would think something like that where the actual people that should be doing that, not that they'd be asleep at the wheel, but there's a difference between like a company like Walmart or TJ Maxx where they have dedicated teams to do that versus the gold would be finding like smaller organizations like the city of Atlanta. You know what I mean? They're not Walmart.
They
Right.
don't have a social media team.
They might have a
Probably.
guy
Yeah.
who, you know, is doing 5 other things.
It's the best when a company like makes a new product that hasn't been copyrighted yet. Then you can go be that product before everybody else.
Oh, that's so funny.
Like get a head start on them. I tried to do that for like Starry or like the Sprite drink or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm like,
Right.
okay, let me get a Starry page going just in case.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, Starry was just there. Like
Yeah.
nobody knew what it was.
Right.
People still don't know what it is.
Right.
But it was just there. And it is also amazing. You know, we'll see these stories pop up all the time. It's amazing the domain names that are not copywritten. Like companies, it doesn't occur to them, and then somebody like you can come and grab it. It's 100% legit.
Yeah.
You're like, you guys screwed up, you know?
Pay me $1 million.
Right.
You're doing a lot of
I
stuff
have
like
some good ones.
and like you're doing a lot of stuff like AI now, where like you're telling people it's AI, but it's just you responding.
Right. Yeah, I had a fake chat GPT site, and
Were
we
people
were getting
asking you wild questions?
Yes, it was all people from other countries apparently. I guess that didn't have chat GPT, so I was like helping Chinese students with their homework and stuff.
Oh, and you're trolling them, or did you like genuinely
I
try
would
to
troll, and then I would be like, okay, they're not getting it. I'll just help them. So then I became chat GPT.
That's a great way to. That's a.
He's like accidentally tutoring.
I was gonna say, or just giving them bad information, like you're offsetting the brain drain. Everybody's complaining about China. You're doing your part to screw the Chinese
Slow 'em
kids.
down.
Yeah, slow them down. That's right.
It's like a sleeper cell.
That's genius.
Yeah, I take on
Educational terrorism.
Yeah.
Man, that's good.
Education.
That is good.
No, I mean, I'm sure you get asked this all the time. You started this just because you were bored? Because you thought it was funny to troll people?
Well, I love entertaining people. So Facebook really helped me because I got instant feedback.
Yeah.
So if I get something that people really, really liked, I would do it more and then just keep doing what they liked.
Because you're just like, this seems silly. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, because no.
Exactly.
Or did it start with suing each other on TV?
That
Oh
was
man,
a
we
thing too.
didn't even talk about that.
Oh, that he used
The
to.
rap
Go ahead.
sheet
You
keeps
go ahead.
going.
Yeah, I guess it does.
I almost told it, but yeah,
The
you
police
tell.
will be here anytime
Yeah,
now.
anytime.
Yeah, my friends and I, we used to sue each other to get on court TV because the court show pays whoever wins. And
Oh,
it
yeah, I
doesn't go
saw
on
those,
anybody's
yeah.
record.
Yeah.
It doesn't go on the record, and you would just be like, sue each other for $5,000, and then just one of you's gonna get it.
Yeah, we make sure the plaintiff always wins, and then once they get the check, we split it. I think I just admitted to fraud on this, right?
But also, it's one of those things that's so
Friday,
genius.
you can do that on Friday.
It's where you're
It's
genius.
fraud
It's so
Friday.
genius,
And
and
it's also a joke.
We're just
He's
kidding.
a comedian.
but it's so genius in its simplicity that you're like, how is no one doing this?
Right.
I think that's what
know.
everybody does on those shows, honestly.
Yeah, there's a
maybe
lot of
so.
a lot of characters in those shows.
That's great.
Well, Ben Palmer has a lot to show you tonight at Dunlop's Corner Bar there on 32nd. Go to palmertrolls.com for all the social hookups there, and you can go see him tonight. If you're listening in another city, you can see if he's coming to your town. And thanks for coming in, man.
Hey,
Nice
thanks
to
for
meet
having
you.
me. It
Absolutely.
was a blast.
Let me take a break here. If you want the last Buzzard bike key before Charlie starts handing them out there in Parma, he's going to be live at Rookies from 5 to 7. Last one here on the air that could fire up this custom Harley from MMS and Budweiser that we're going to give away. The details on the giveaway, by the way, where we're going to do it coming very soon. But I'll give you this last key here on the air. For caller 10, good luck. Grab one of these Buzzard bike keys. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app. With a gleam in his eye.